Everyone already knows how Alex Pereira's left hook has conquered boxing, kickboxing, and MMA. Despite his age, Alex has dominated all combat sports thanks to his abnormal power. But what if I told you that he is not the only one in the Pereira family who possesses such strength? You won't believe it, but his younger sister, ALINE, might be even more powerful than her older brother. Even though knockouts in women's combat sports happen far less frequently than in men's, ALINE Pereira knocks out everyone in her path, perhaps even more brutally than Alex. Her devastating power has taken over kickboxing and karate, but can she achieve the same success in MMA as her older brother? To find out, let's start from the very beginning. ALINE Pereira, born October 6, 1990 in São Bernardo do Campo, Brazil. ALINE grew up in a family of 5 siblings. Among them, Alex Pereira played a pivotal role in shaping her life and career. Alex's journey from poverty to becoming a world champion ignited a spark in ALINE to follow in his footsteps. The two share a bond that goes beyond blood. Alex became not only her brother, but her guide in combat sports, teaching her the art of precision striking and instilling a champion's mindset. This connection is evident in ALINE's fights, where her style mirrors Alex's, calculated, powerful, and relentless. ALINE's journey in combat sports began around the same time when Alex Pereira learned about his family's true origins. He realized that they belonged to the Potiguara people, one of the indigenous groups of Brazil. This realization made him a much better fighter, and he gave up alcohol for a long time. Apparently, this also influenced not only him, but also his sister. Around the same time, she took up an activity that is not particularly popular among women. ALINE Pereira started her journey just like her older brother, in amateur boxing. And there's no need to point out that ALINE is in blue. It's obvious from her left hook, which is a carbon copy of Alex Pereira's. If you didn't notice it right away, ALINE made sure you would by building her entire game plan around landing straight punches while luring her opponent in. Then, she'd throw that signature left hook, and when her opponent wouldn't close the distance, ALINE herself would step in with hooks and overhands. Again, eerily similar to her older brother's strikes. But ALINE's inexperience showed in her first fight. She often got stuck in place after her attacks, allowing her opponent to clinch. And on the break, she'd eat a few rabbit punches. Those were pretty much the only successful moments for her opponent. In terms of damage and clean shots, it was clear that ALINE Pereira was winning. However, the judges, probably because of amateur boxing rules, gave the victory not to the one who landed the most accurate and powerful strikes, but to the one who simply threw more, even if those punches had zero impact. Of course, this didn't break Alex's younger sister. She took a page from his book and decided to switch to kickboxing, where even at the amateur level, damage is valued more than sheer volume. Unfortunately, no footage of her amateur kickboxing fights remains. However, she proved herself there as well, finishing her amateur career with an impressive record of 21 wins, most by knockout, and only 3 losses. Then it was time to go pro. Her debut came in 2017, the same year Alex defeated Israel Adesanya for the second time, this time by brutal knockout.
返回局势，不然，哦，左手摆拳，击倒了，不能继续了。
And by mid-2017, he signed with the WGP promotion, the same one ALINE joined. However, she actually made her debut before Alex did. Her first professional fight took place at WGP 39 against Rayane Vieira. Right away, you can see the difference between ALINE in amateur boxing and professional kickboxing. She attacks dynamically, targeting both the head and body, using both hands and legs. And when she throws combinations, she doesn't stand still. She immediately exits the striking line. A powerful jab that nearly sent her opponent's head flying into the crowd is a reminder that ALINE Pereira packs serious power in her hook. But unlike her boxing match, she's now fighting with much more variety and isn't relying on just one strike. Pereira also showcases dynamic combinations that incorporate knees. ALINE's defense has significantly improved. She's learned to roll with the punches and immediately fire back with combinations. A funny moment happened in the first round. The fighters suddenly thought the round was over and started walking to their corners, even though no bell had sounded. But as soon as the fight resumed, ALINE continued beating up her opponent. Near the very end of the round, she landed a powerful front kick, followed by a combination. At the start of the second round, the crowd got what they came for. A perfectly timed left hook nearly sent her opponent flying out of the ring. Credit to Vieira, she managed to get up and continue fighting. If in the first round her opponent was at least trying to fight back, in the second, ALINE was just outright beating her down. Here we see the same combination Alex used to knock out Sean Strickland, a straight to the body followed by a hook to the head. But ALINE added a knee to the body and locked her opponent in the clinch to prevent any counterattacks. More knee combinations. ALINE starts the third round just as aggressively as the second, though this time without a knockdown, a Pereira-style combination. But just when her opponent thought ALINE was done, she kept going. Vieira barely survived by clinching. Near the end of the third round, ALINE tried once again to finish her opponent, but Vieira managed to escape by clinching again. It was clear to everyone that ALINE completely dominated her opponent, and since this wasn't amateur boxing, where sheer volume matters more than power, aggression and damage were the key factors. So, all rounds went to ALINE, marking her first victory in professional kickboxing. At the next event, ALINE's older brother Alex made his debut in the promotion just as spectacularly as his sister. Meanwhile, ALINE returned to the ring at WGP 44 against Maisa Borges. The fight, unlike her first one, started off rather slowly. It was clear that Pereira wanted to pick her opponent apart from a distance, so she wasn't in a hurry to close in. But the moment her opponent dared to step forward, ALINE started lighting her up as if she had just stolen something from her. Then she quickly got out of the danger zone. At one point, her opponent just stood still, which seemed to motivate Pereira to close the distance herself and land a powerful combination. Borges finally decided to attack for the first time. But ALINE immediately blocked the low kick, then the body kick, and finally the high kick. In response, Pereira unloaded a combination to the head and body. It was clear that ALINE had already figured out her opponent's timing, as she perfectly countered a low kick with a left hook. Near the end of the round, the Brazilian made sure to leave no doubt that the round was hers by going on the attack and unloading on her opponent. Pereira started the second round with a body shot combination, probably to open up her opponent's head. Despite Borges keeping a high guard, you could tell that ALINE's punches were slowly breaking her down mentally. Her opponent realized she needed to make Pereira respect her, but instead she ran straight into a flurry of punches and kicks. Unfortunately for Borges, all her attacks were way too predictable for ALINE. She blocked every kick and just kept marching forward.
Skip in front, left leg roundhouse kick. There goes a good back leg roundhouse kick by Maisa, but it was countered by a left.
In the final round, Pereira turned up the aggression even more, forcing her opponent into a corner and unloading on her. ALINE rocked her opponent with a straight punch, but credit to Borges, she somehow managed to endure all the follow-up strikes.
With the abdomen of Maisa, and she felt that. And she's got a welt on her stomach already on her abdomen. There she goes, showing some good boxing skills. She's able to get out of ALINE's.
Throughout the entire fight, Borges kept trying to kick ALINE's legs while getting punched in the head in return. By the end, it seemed like Pereira had had enough of this, so she unleashed an extended combination.
Counterattack punching attacks. Now Aline is moving her back.
She chose to finish the fight with a knee in close range and a shot to the head. Throughout the entire fight, Borges had nothing to offer besides low kicks, unlike Pereira, who completely dominated her, securing another victory. Aline returned to WGP at the 45th tournament, competing in the Grand Prix semifinal against Elaine Lopes. As you may have noticed, this opponent, like the others, has quite the Gimli-like build. That's because despite her height, Aline is rather lean. Pereira was lighting up her opponent, but Lopes refused to back down and kept pressing forward.
She's not afraid at all.
A solid combination from Aline as her opponent tried to close the distance. As you can see, this opponent had the same game plan as the previous ones. Get in close and throw low kicks. And just like before, it wasn't really working. Lopes had no intention of backing off and continued to press forward, attacking with low kicks. Pereira ramped up her offense to prevent her opponent from closing the distance so easily, but Lopes still managed to get into the clinch. Aline landed a nice combination, but her opponent quickly clinched again. This time, Pereira decided to go on the offensive herself, but Lopes responded well with jabs and a low kick. The round ended in an exciting fashion, with both fighters taking some solid shots to the head and body. The second round started with a bang. Right after touching gloves, both fighters threw wild Mortal Kombat-style combinations. Aline started relying on her jab more to keep her opponent at bay.
Has a great guard. She's able to move in steadily. Aline Pereira is
Lopes kept pressing forward as usual, but a powerful combination from Pereira immediately stopped her in her tracks. Aline also started using more kicks to control the distance, but Lopes once again used a double jab to close in successfully. Aline answered with her own combinations, but she lost this exchange. A good combination from Pereira, but her opponent kept spamming low kicks. Lopes closed the distance and ate a clean combination to the face. Aline decided to keep up the pace and followed up with another combination. Another exchange, Lopes focused on low kicks while Pereira attacked the head and body. Credit to Lopes, she took some clean shots to the chin without even flinching. The pace picked up toward the end of the round, but the pattern remained the same. Lopes kept kicking the legs while taking punches to the face. Pereira came out firing in the third round, landing a powerful combination that forced her opponent to retreat. In response, Lopes, seemingly unsure of what to do, straight up threw Aline to the ground. But that didn't slow Pereira down. She immediately fired off another combination that spun Lopes around like a top. Aline stayed ahead of her opponent, attacking first and preventing her from closing in. Pereira kept up the pressure with a variety of strikes. Lopes finally decided to work the head, but Aline responded immediately with her own shots.
able to keep her back, able to keep Lopes back. Definitely much better at judging the distance this round. Elwin, a good knee, and Lopes.
As the fight came to a close, Pereira chased her opponent down, throwing kicks to keep the pressure on. It seemed like an obvious win for Aline Pereira. She likely lost the first round, but with each passing round, she dominated more and more. But as it turned out, that wasn't the case. For some reason, the judges believed that throwing endless low kicks and eating punches to the face was enough to win. And just like that, Aline Pereira suffered the first loss of her professional career. But she quickly returned to the ring at WGP 50 against Tatiana Campos. This time, Aline's opponent didn't start by attacking the legs, but instead aimed for the head and missed. After another attempt to land a headshot, Pereira responded with a powerful combination that shut her opponent down. Surprisingly, Campos didn't stop there and kept attacking the head and body. Her persistence forced Pereira to become more aggressive, but even then, Campos refused to back down. ALINE caught her opponent in the clinch and punished her with knees. However, Campos wasn't ready to give up control and kept firing off strong combinations. An exchange of kicks, suddenly, ALINE ate an axe kick straight to the head. Finally, Pereira's left hook found its mark. Another clean combination from ALINE. It was clear that the previous exchange had shaken Campos. However, after a brief recovery, she managed to take control of the round's final moments.
That was good, a good axe kick just again raised ALINE's face.
Pereira came into the second round with much more urgency. Knowing she had lost the first, she turned up the aggression. ALINE countered a low kick with a powerful punch and started pressuring with combinations, dropping her opponent. The first knockdown of the fight went to Pereira. After Campos got back up, ALINE continued bombarding her with hooks. Pereira landed a devastating combination that rocked her opponent, but the clinch saved Campos from hitting the canvas. The round ended in ALINE's favor as she fearlessly unloaded bombs to her opponent's head. This round was clearly hers. However, in the corner, no one was celebrating yet. Her brother Alex kept giving her instructions for the final round. Pereira closed the distance with a knee, looking to unleash combinations against the ropes. But Campos finally realized she needed to fire back. Campos rushed forward, pressing the action, but a couple of counterhooks from ALINE cooled her down quickly. Campos launched an attack, leading to an intense exchange. ALINE landed her signature left hook again, rocking her opponent once more. A spinning back fist attempt from Campos, Ben Askren style, but Pereira countered and dominated the final moments of the fight. It was obvious that the first round was tough for ALINE, but rounds 2 and 3 were one-sided beatdowns. If not for the clinch, she likely would have won by knockout. Still, she secured a dominant decision victory, but one question remains. If she's so strong, why hasn't she won by knockout yet? She drops her opponents, clearly rocks them, yet she hasn't scored a KO in pro kickboxing. Her next fight took place at Super Fighters 4. Unfortunately, there's no high-quality footage of this bout. ALINE's opponent was her namesake, Nilcelia Pereira, who, to be honest, looked even more muscular than Alex. ALINE quickly trapped her opponent against the ropes and started attacking. As soon as Nilcelia managed to escape ALINE's pressure, she immediately ran headfirst into the Pereira family's signature left hook. Despite quite literally dancing as she got up from the knockdown, the referee decided she hadn't taken enough damage and allowed the fight to continue. Obviously, this only fired ALINE up more. She pushed Nilcelia back with a front kick to create distance and then knocked her out again with another left hook. But, for some reason, the ref still wasn't satisfied and let the fight go on. At this point, Nilcelia was wobbling after every punch, eventually collapsing again. Her corner had seen enough and threw in the towel to stop the absolute beatdown. Chamane Sortai Hiran versus ALINE Pereira. Glory, 75. ALINE faced the experienced Chamane in a strategic battle. Chamane attempted to utilize her evasive footwork and counterpunching abilities, but ALINE relentlessly cut off the ring and pressured her opponent.
See who won that first round. Not a lot of action. All three giving it to Pereira.
Tiger round, more counter fighting. It's tough because she's the shorter fighter, but that's where she's got to use her kicks.
ALINE's aggressive style forced Chamane to fight defensively, allowing Pereira to land clean shots to the body and head throughout the match. ALINE delivered a perfectly timed spinning back kick in the second round, drawing cheers from the crowd and staggering Chamane momentarily. ALINE Pereira won by unanimous decision. Her professional debut in Glory Kickboxing came on November 16, 2019. Against Crystal Lawson at Glory 71, ALINE displayed precision striking and footwork. ALINE made her professional kickboxing debut in a high-energy bout against Crystal Lawson. From the opening bell, ALINE controlled the pace.
Decision. Went out a straight right hand. A 1-2, and down goes Lawson. That's that long, straight snapping punches I talked about.
With sharp jabs and a variety of kicks to the legs and body, she demonstrated excellent footwork. constantly circling and avoiding Lawson's counterpunches. Crystal attempted to pressure forward, but struggled to land clean shots due to Aline's head movement and defensive awareness. Despite Lawson's attempts to counter, Aline's relentless offense and tactical control ensured a clear decision victory.
Punches. Oh, another knee, and that is it. The referee waves it off, and it was easy.
59 seconds into the fight, this one ruled a technical knockout. For your winner, ALINE Pereira!
Facing the veteran Tiffany Van Soest, Aline entered as a dangerous contender but met her toughest challenge yet. Tiffany's superior footwork and evasive tactics frustrated Aline, who struggled to land clean shots. Despite this, Aline managed to land several powerful hooks and kicks throughout the fight.
Tiffany being that shorter fighter, and Pereira having that bladed stance, the calf kick is a very good weapon.
Ooh, nice entry there by Van Soest.
Shifting, started as a southpaw, then she's trying to step forward into orthodox to land her power shot.
However, Van Soest's experience and tactical adjustments gave her the edge on the judges' scorecards. In the final round, Aline landed a powerful left hook that visibly staggered Van Soest, but it was too late to change the outcome.
Get someone like Van Soest.
That's the one thing she's going to learn, is how to mix her combinations up a little bit.
And a big right hand for Van Soest, who's going for glory here in the fifth.
ALINE Pereira lost by unanimous decision. In 2022, Aline decided to expand her skill set by transitioning to MMA, training at Teixeira MMA and Fitness under Glover Teixeira alongside her brother Alex. Aline aimed to conquer new challenges in the flyweight division. Her debut came on November 18, 2022, at LFA 147 against Helen Peralta. Despite a valiant effort, Aline lost via unanimous decision. This setback, however, only fueled her determination. In her MMA debut, Aline showcased impressive striking skills but struggled with Helen Peralta's grappling and clinch control. Helen repeatedly closed the distance, forcing Aline into grappling exchanges where she was less comfortable. Despite landing clean shots during the stand-up exchanges, Aline couldn't prevent Helen's takedowns and control on the mat. However, Aline was able to land a head kick in the second round that briefly stunned Peralta, showing her potential in MMA. Despite losing by decision, Aline showed strong clinch and takedown game from Helen, as well as masterful precise strikes from Aline, which are reminiscent of her brother's powerful strikes. Her only MMA victory. Aline's opponent was clearly terrified of her power, and for good reason. With the very first clean shot, she dropped to the canvas. The second time Aline attacked, her opponent literally sprinted across the entire octagon to escape. The only way for her to survive was to clinch and grapple, but Aline showed noticeable improvement in this area, refusing to be taken down. Toward the end of the round, Aline felt more comfortable and started unloading on her opponent against the cage. But in the final second, she got a little too carried away and ended up getting taken down. In the second round, she was lighter on her feet, which helped her land her shots more accurately. Her opponent's face was the perfect testament to Aline's devastating power. It wasn't like she hit her that many times, but her face was already turning into ground beef. Aline landed a solid combination followed by a high kick, which seemingly shut her opponent's eye. From that point on, her opponent was in full survival mode, running away to avoid getting knocked out, which, to her credit, she managed. It was clear that Aline fought more cautiously in this bout, focusing on avoiding takedowns. And it paid off. She dominated in the stand-up, brutalized her opponent, and won a confident decision victory. At LFA 168, ALINE Pereira faced Cheyenne Bowers. Aline started the fight aggressively, but Cheyenne Bowers quickly adapted by closing the distance and using the clinch to minimize damage. Pereira attempted to regain control several times, but her lack of experience in grappling became evident when Bowers started taking her down to the ground. Cheyenne methodically imposed her game plan, utilizing takedowns and ground control, where ALINE had clear weaknesses. Although Pereira tried to escape and continue striking, Bowers didn't allow her to find her rhythm. By the final bell, Bowers was in clear control, scoring points through dominance in grappling and positioning. Pereira, despite showing resilience and heart, couldn't find a way to impose her own style. It's obvious that ALINE enjoys ground and pound and finishing opponents on the ground. However, her limited grappling skills prevent her from fully showcasing her potential in MMA. That's why she decided to try herself in karate combat, where the stand-up game is essentially similar to MMA, but with minimal clinching, and grappling is allowed for a limited time. In theory, this rule set should be a perfect fit for Pereira. On October 11, 2024, at KC50, she faced Dee Begley. She opened the fight with aggressive pressure, forcing Dee onto the back foot. After a series of exchanges, ALINE landed a devastating left hook that sent Dee to the canvas.
I think she's going to be victory.
The referee immediately stopped the fight. Such a successful debut in karate combat convinced the organizers to give ALINE another fight. It seems that the lack of grappling restrictions and the ability to finish an opponent rather than waiting for a count or them stalling in the clinch makes it the perfect place to showcase her skills. Her second opponent was Amanda Torres, who focused on low kicks and catching ALINE's leg to take the fight to the ground. However, throughout the first round, ALINE dominated in the stand-up, landing heavy strikes.
We're into the final 10 seconds.
But towards the end, her opponent caught a kick and secured a takedown right before the bell. At the start of the second round, the crowd witnessed exactly what they came for.
That's the shot she was looking for, and the referee has called a stoppage here.
2 fights in karate combat, 2 knockout victories. It looks like ALINE Pereira has the potential to become the face of the promotion. What do you think? How far can she go in combat sports? ALINE Pereira's journey is a testament to resilience, hard work, and the power of family. With her brother Alex as her mentor and a growing legacy of her own, ALINE continues to inspire fans worldwide. Follow her story as she rises to even greater heights in combat sports.